Hi, welcome to Talk Back Live, a show that gets you involved in live conversation and sports with Brian Camp on Sports Update, bringing you the latest developments in today's world of sports. And now here's your host, Frank Allan.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and a pleasant night to each and every one of you in your different time zones around the world and across the country, wherever you are. Here we are once again. We're at another Thursday, and right now it's 8 p.m. on the East Coast, 5 p.m. on the West Coast. It's Friday morning in London at 1 a.m., 3 a.m. in Israel, and it's 10 a.m. in Tokyo, Japan. Everybody's up and at 'em, at least in certain parts of the world they are. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Talk Back Live, and we're here with you each Thursday at this time. Of course, we're coming to you live directly from New York City. That's where we originate. And each time we come around, we always make it a point to make sure that you're out there. And now that we know that you're out there, we want to get you involved in the show. A lot of you have been with us for a long time, so you already know how this whole thing goes, right? But I want to explain it to some of the people who may be new to this program here for the first time. I'm the host, and as the host, I get things organized, I get things together, and I set up the show as I'm doing now. In the meantime, what you can do, you can talk back live to us. That's the name of the program. So therefore, you can use your keyboard on your computer or your iPhone or even your tablet or whatever device you use that has a keyboard and a screen that can pick us up. You can type in whatever you want to talk about. I don't care what it is. And I will acknowledge you. We'll talk together all the way, right throughout the show. And if you have anything in particular that you want to talk about, please feel free just to type it in there, and we'll add it on to the show if we can possibly do that. We'll do it tonight, and we'll have all of your comments, suggestions, and ideas, because that's what it's all about. Free form of information, ideas, and of opinions. And I'm pretty sure you have an opinion, just as long as it's diplomatic. We don't care. But just the same, we're going to be here, like I said, for a whole full hour. And those of you, again, who are watching us for the first time, we're coming from 3 different places. We're live on 3 different places. We're on YouTube, Instagram, and of course, Facebook. Any one of those 3 features could get you there. You could watch us and enjoy the show wherever you are. You sit back, relax. A lot of you, if you're on another side of the world and it's bright and early in the morning, maybe you're off to work or maybe you're at work right now, sit back at your desk and just enjoy the show and multitask. Don't forget about your work. I think that's more important if you want to keep that job, right? It's more important to make sure that the work is done. But you could watch us, and if you're good enough to do that, watch us and work at the same time. Now, for those of you people who are on Facebook watching us, what we want you to do is take the time right now as we move along and make sure that your friends know about us. And you could do that by tagging them, because I know you have a lot of friends on your Facebook account, and you can tag each and every one of them, if not all of them, at least some of them. And if you have too many friends to do that, maybe each and every week, you can kind of little by little, you can tag a few more and make them part of the show as well. So we invite you to do that. Those of you who are watching us on YouTube, of course, you already know what to do. Get the opportunity, have the opportunity, and this is the opportunity right now for you to click onto our YouTube channel. You're there right now. Well, what I want you to do is subscribe to us. You see that button where it says subscribe? Take your mouse, drag the arrow over there, put it on there, and just click it. Just one little click, and that covers everything. Now, you don't need any money to get involved in this. There's nothing, it doesn't cost you anything. All it costs you is to know that we're out here for you. And that doesn't cost anything anyway. But that brings you part of us. And what you do is whenever you get the chance, you'll know that we're out there on the air, you get a notification. That's why when you click on subscribe, that'll give you opportunity to know that you can do that. And you get that notification just in case you might forget about the show. You're out there online and you forget the show is coming on the air. Well, the notification will pop up. That's the purpose of clicking on and subscribing to my YouTube channel. We would like you to do that anyway, because the more the merrier. We would like you to be part of us to do that. And so it goes. And for you guys who are watching us on Instagram, no need to worry, no need to cry. It's okay. You don't have to do anything. The only thing we ask you to do is make sure you get your friends, your family, and your relatives involved in the show. Let them know about it. Now, I don't know if you can tag it. I never tried it, but it looked like it would make more sense if you kind of emailed them or something, or send them a note while you're on Instagram. Maybe they're out there. You don't know that. And if they are, they'll see that notification and it'll lead them right to where we are, right here, right here. And they can enjoy the show very well. So if they like what they see and if they like what they hear, maybe it'll be back again and again and again and again. So we hope you get a chance to do that. We urge you to get a chance to do that. That would be great. We've got a lot of things coming along in terms of the show, interacting with you. Of course, we love doing that. You know, that's what we do. But we have features in the show that we get out on the way, and of course, you're kind enough to bear with that. For instance, not too long from now, in a few minutes, in this particular half hour, as a matter of fact, in just a few minutes from now, we're going to link up with Brian Camp, coming out of Charlotte, North Carolina. That's where he is, and technology is that good where we could always do that. But then again, going way back when, technology, we were already ready to do that. You could link up with anybody way back then. But anyway, we're going to link up with him. You're going to see him on screen. You're going to watch him and see him on screen because he's going to be here with the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. We hope you get a chance to stick around for that. And if you have any particular questions related to sports, and you can ask him when he's live with us. He'll do that for you. He'll answer all of the questions that you want to know about. But we got a lot of things coming on. I'm sure he's going to be talking about, I'm pretty sure he has a lot of things, sports coming up related to that. And, he's going to pass it along to us. So make sure that you're here for that. Now, if you're watching us on Instagram, you don't have the luxury of seeing Brian. You could hear him, but you won't be able to see him because we don't have the luxury for Instagram to have him on screen, but you could hear him and you could still communicate with him as well. And he won't be able to see you if you make a comment or have a question, but I can see you. And then what I'll do is I'll relay all of the questions to him and he can answer them for you. It's the same thing. But for the rest of you guys watching us on Facebook and YouTube, you'll get a chance to see him and meet him right on screen, right here. And it's all happening here on Talkback Live. Also, later on, we have This Day in History. Whatever happened on this day in history, February 22nd, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of things that happened. And we'll have all of that information. We're going to run it down to you, some of the stuff that we were able to pick up. We're going to run it down to you and even give you a chance to horn in if I didn't mention anything and anything that happened on this day in history. Of course, you could pass it along and we'll pass it along to everybody that's watching right now. So this day in history is coming up. That's not too far away either. And we got to squeeze a lot of things in 1 hour. We only get 1 hour, so we got to squeeze a lot of things into it. And before the show is all over, maybe towards the end of the show, I have also those movies that you like, those Turner Classic movies. They're always my picks of the week. And what I do is that I do my homework. I pick certain movies that I think you're going to like. And the reason why I do that, because the weekend is coming up. And it comes by real fast. We had a short week, didn't we? We had a real short week, but the weekend is coming up, and I'm sure you're able and ready to do a lot of things. And one of the things that some of you may want to do is catch up on some movies. Well, if that's the case, then of course I have a few to convey to you guys as well, and then you could add it to your bucket list of what to watch. So all of that is coming up. It's you, me, and all of us against the world. I want to say hello over there to Mary Reed. She's watching us on Facebook. Thank you, Mary, for being along with us. And a lot of you guys coming in. If you come in and say hello, we'd be glad to say hello back. Okay, so we got all of that coming up. And all you have to do is just linger a little bit, right? As I said, again, you can talk to us and you can say hello to us and we can say hello back. That's the way we operate. So a lot of things are going on. And here we are, as I said, February is on its way out, the 22nd. Here we are, the 22nd of February. It's on its way out, but we're still here. And that being said, we're in the middle of Black History Month. Black History Month is still here. And of course, a lot of people are still talking about a few things that they saw on TV or watched, some films or, streaming. This is the world of streaming now. People are getting a hold of a lot of Black or African American oriented films and TV shows and movies and things like that. And there are a lot of things being shown on Turner Classic Movies as well. And so we have just the rest of the month to do Black History Month. As a matter of fact, when I look at the calendar, I say like it's 22nd. So when we come back here next Thursday, it'll be the final day of Black History Month. There will be a following day. That's the 29th of February. So that would be the following day. So we get 29 days this year in February. And then we move over to March, which is, of course, March Madness. But then again, we don't talk about March Madness yet because that's Brian's department. And maybe he'll say something about that when he comes along. Also, ladies and gentlemen, we don't want to neglect the fact that it's still National Cancer Prevention Month, too. And how do you know that? Because I found out about it, and I'm an advocate of that. Of course, as you already know, I told you guys that a million times already. It's National Cancer Prevention Month. And that's the thing that could happen to anyone. It can happen to anyone. As a matter of fact, a friend that I used to work with, just this morning I found out, and she posted it on Facebook. She lost her sister who was battling cancer for a long time. And so one of the things that we talk about, there's something that some of us can't avoid, but we do the best that we can to avoid it in any means, like changing our diet or eating right or jogging or taking, strenuous exercises and things like that, but it could happen to anyone. And the thing is that it has no warning. It gives you no warning. That's why the good thing to do is always be proactive and see your doctor on a regular basis and checkups. Because a lot of people who, if they were unfortunate, they got cancer just by going to their doctors, going for a routine checkup. The good thing about that is when you do that, and if you go to your doctor on a regular basis and you discover that, there's breast cancer or for the men, prostate cancer or anything like that, you can always check it in time. Because cancer moves very, very slow. And so if you're like a lot of people like myself, go to the doctor, and a lot of us don't like to go to the doctors, and I understand that very well. But if you go on a regular basis, if that, God forbid, ever happens to you, for the most part, you can catch it in time, you catch it at the early stages, and there's always treatments to work with and a lot of things to do that. So we continue with National Cancer Prevention Month on this February. We've got one more week of it, right? When we come back. Because next Friday, when we do the coffee hour, it'll be the first day of March. Hey, do you care about this? I don't know. Let me see. Do you care about it? Raise your hand if you care about National Margarita Day. Do you care about that? Yes, it is. It's National Margarita Day. And I don't know if you know about it. And those of you who knew about it earlier, we're in the night area here in New York. And those of you who are on the other side of the world, well, you're already into the Friday mode, so you missed it if you weren't aware of it. But all day long, they were celebrating National Martini Day. And I don't know if anybody goes out of their way and say, oh, it's National Martini, or not Martini, Margarita Day. It's National Margarita Day. So I think I'll go have me a margarita. Anyway, I just figured I'd throw it out there for you. All right, you like to eat? It's National Chili Day, too. You like chili? Well, here it is. It's National Chili Day. And I used to eat chili when I was a kid. It tastes delicious. My mom used to make the best chili in the world. But yeah, so we have National Chili Day. And for all of you guys in California, a happy day to you. It's National California Day. and people in California. I don't know where all of this stuff comes from, but I do know in California, I'm pretty sure if they're like really proactive about how they celebrate certain things, I'm pretty sure National California Day is one of the things that they like to celebrate with, right? They like to do that. It's National California Day. So all of you guys in California, all right, we want to wish you a happy National California Day. If you're just joining us this very moment, we want you to stay with us. The name of the show is called Talk Back Live, and we're going to be with you for the rest for a whole full hour. And in that hour, we've got a lot of things to talk about. We're going to be talking about all kinds of things, anything that you want to talk about. Just make sure it's clean stuff. We don't do any dirty stuff here. While you're thinking about that, let's go over to Charlotte, North Carolina right now, because now I got Brian Camp with me, and he's here each week at this time. And of course, he's the pro on this. You know, I couldn't think of a better person to do this. The latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. Hi, Brian.
Hi, good evening. Hello to all out there. Hello to Mary. I have to say, Mary, I hope that all is well with you and everybody's okay. It is 55 degrees out here in the Queen City of Charlotte, North Carolina. It's cloudy. I expect to have some wet rain tomorrow, but we'll keep our fingers crossed. You know, no big deal. But it is now we're in a time where football is over. Basketball is coming to their last 20 or 25 games left. And baseball's here. In fact, there's some baseball games on tonight. Maybe one, I'm sorry, the Dodgers and the Padres, but that's exhibition game. So it's not that real games. Those games do not count. But baseball season is definitely here. So before you know it, the weather's going to get warmer. It's going to be nice, and we're going to have a lot of cookouts. And if you're going to the games live, then you're going to have those what is it called when you go out just before the game starts? I know they do it in football. It's like pre-cooked and everything.
That's right. They used to do that. I don't see that much anymore. I don't know if maybe they do it for football, but they used to do it for baseball a lot. They used to barbecue on the outside of the stadium.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's named for it. I don't know why.
I don't know what the name is, but they used to be out there. They have their attire on to dedicate to their team, and they're out there grills, and they're just turning over hamburgers and hot dogs, the whole thing. Wow.
Yeah. So that's what they I'm doing. So is that time of the year. But winter's not over yet nationwide, because we're still gonna have some cold weather. We're still gonna be dealing with snow and rain and everything else. So we just gotta keep your coats on and everything. So let's just be careful. But let me get to sports. This day, not much to really report, because a lot of stuff is happening now, but it's not worth reporting. But this day in sports, February 22nd, that's the day that my grandmother was born. May she rest in peace. Yes. It was in 1893, the first Iron Bowl game appeared. The Iron Bowl is usually between Auburn and Alabama. That game was in Birmingham, where the Auburn beat Alabama 32-22. 1962, Philadelphia center Wilt Chamberlain, sets an NBA record for 34 free throw attempts, making 19 of them. Wilt Chamberlain is not known for being a very good free throw shooter. He has a lot of clunks, as they call it, like a lot of missed shots. 1980, the Miracle on Ice. Many of you all remember that when Team USA defeated heavily favored the Soviet Union. That was in the semifinals, and they went on to win the gold medal. I believe it was Finland. I'm not quite sure, but that was a very huge upset against the Soviet Union, and now it's called Russia now. So the U.S., that was in 1980. Herb Brooks was the U.S. coach, that time. 2019, Robert Kraft, owner of the New England Patriots, charged with soliciting with prostitution. That was a big thing back there. He was mixed up with that. He pled guilty. He was fined and everything. But that was not too long ago. That was in 2019. Birthdays today. Charlie O. Finley, former owner of the Oakland A's and Major League Baseball owner and executive, was born in Birmingham, Alabama. 1934, Sparky Anderson, Hall of Fame manager, won 3 World Series championships, was born in Bridgewater, South Dakota. 1940, former basketball player Chet Walker, who was an NBA forward for the Chicago Bulls, was born in Bethlehem, Mississippi. Yes, Chet Walker was teamed up with Bob Love. Remember Bob Love and those Bulls team. 1943. Here's one. The twins, Dick and Tom Van Arsdale, NBA guards, was from the Phoenix Suns, was born in Indianapolis, Indiana. And in 1950, Julius Erving, NBA Hall of Famer, known as Dr. J, was born in East Meadow, New York. And in 1986, Rajon Rondo, NBA guard, 2-time champion with the Boston Celtics and the LA Lakers, was born in Louisville, Kentucky. And to my Black History moments, I promised that last week I said that we will talk about baseball. I'm keeping my word. And this day in Black History, 1947, Jackie Robinson, first African-American player to win Rookie of the Year in Major League Baseball with the Brooklyn Dodgers. That was April 15th. They celebrate that every year in baseball. 1947, Larry Doby, the first African-American player to play in the American League. He's the second African-American overall. Was a pinch hitter for the Cleveland Indians. Back to stay in that same year, 1947, Jackie Robinson and Dan Bankhead, first African-American to appear in the World Series. So Jackie Robinson's first year in the major leagues, he went to the World Series. 1952, Joe Black, first African-American pitcher to win a World Series game. 1955, Sam Jones is the first African-American major league pitcher to throw a no-hitter. 1950, Don Newcomb, first African-American pitcher to win 20 games and a Cy Young Award. 1962, Jackie Robinson, first African-American to be enshrined into Baseball Hall of Fame. 1962, is this the person you talk about? Buck O'Neil, the first African-American Major League Baseball coach. 1964, Willie Mays, first African-American to be chosen to be a team captain, and that was with the San Francisco Giants. 1966, Emmett Ashford is the first African-American to umpire a Major League Baseball game. 1966, Frank Robinson, first African-American to win Major League Baseball Triple Crown. 1971, the Pittsburgh Pirates, listen to this, field for the first time in Major League Baseball an all-black starting lineup. Every position, pitcher, first, second, outfielder, infielder, catcher, was on the team. That was back then. It was hard to believe that happened in 1971. It was just maybe some 15, 20 years from before that. Was baseball segregation. 1975, Frank Robinson, first African-American to be a major league manager. 1977, Bill Lucas, first African-American to become a GM for the Atlanta Braves. And in 1992, Cito Gaston, first African-American manager to win a World Series, was and a year later wins the World Series again. Yes, he won it again, back-to-back years. So congratulations. That was the Black History moment in sports in the month of February.
That was a lot of names. A lot of names you got out there. And I was gonna talk about Frank Robinson too when you mentioned him the first time. And I said, wait, wasn't he first manager? But then you came along, you came back and you mentioned it. So we established that. Because I was kind of confused. I thought maybe I lost track somewhere and it wasn't Frank Robinson, it was somebody else. But yeah. So
Frank Robinson played the first player. He was a player manager.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
that's he got that title.
And
Yep.
he did that with the Cincinnati Reds, I believe.
He did that with the Cleveland Indians. That's his original team. He played for the Indians in the 60s.
Oh,
And then 70s he played for the Orioles. He never played for the Reds.
oh, well, where did I get that from? I thought he played for the, I don't know.
He played for the Indians.
Yeah.
And he played for the Baltimore Orioles.
I don't know how I associate with him with the Cincinnati Reds. I don't know how I know Pete Rose played for the Cincinnati Reds, but I just don't know how I associated Frank.
Early he played for the Cincinnati Reds when he first came in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he was a player manager for the Indians. The word that we're looking for before they start the games outside is called tailgating. Tailgating. Barbecue outside the stadium. They call it tailgating.
Okay, I never knew there was a phrase for that. I just know that they went out there and they barbecued and had a good time. You know, I don't know how you get a chance to do that with the anticipation of the game before that. How they get a chance to do that? You know, I don't know if I would ever be able to ever take participate in anything like that because the anticipation of the game. I'm ready to get into the ballpark. And I don't.
Well, what they do is they come out early, like in the morning. They start drinking, and then they do is sometimes they don't even go inside. They just set up a TV, and they watch the game while cooking in front of the stadium. And that's what.
Those are the people who don't have tickets, don't have the money to get into the stadium.
As long as they're right there, right by the game,
yeah,
right by the stadium, right by the players.
Yeah.
That's what they. I was invited to a couple of them, but I didn't want to be out there in no freezing weather. It's mainly college football and professional football where they be out there tailgating.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they do. Yeah, you're right. They do that for football, more for football than they do for baseball. But I've seen it done before baseball games as well. They don't do it as much, and I guess the reason why they don't do it as much is because people, as you said, like time and time again, people don't go out to the baseball parks as much as they used to.
Right.
And,
yeah, exactly. But they're trying to bring the fans back by changing these here rules and everything. And a lot of the historians of baseball don't like it. They like it the old way and everything. So that's what they like doing. So.
Especially when they're really big on the time thing, like the time frame. That's why the baseball games are shorter now. And so the pitcher can't take as much time as he used to. He can't lollygag like he used to, you know?
Right.
What do they have, like 15 seconds or something like that?
I think it's 20. It starts once the ball is thrown back to the pitcher, then the count starts at 20 seconds.
20 seconds. Okay, I thought it was 15, but yeah, ballpark. Yeah. And Wilt Chamberlain, they call him Wilt the Stilt, number 30. Wilt the Stilt.
Or they call the Big Dipper.
The Big Dipper. Okay. Did you know Wilt the Stilt, the Big Dipper, Wilt Chamberlain used to play for the Harlem Globetrotters in his early years?
That is correct. Yes, that is correct. He used to play for the Trotters, and he was an excellent volleyball player too, as well.
Yeah, but like you said, he wasn't good with the free throws.
No. Horrible free throws.
Speaking of the Harlem Globetrotters, they're still around. Do you know they have women in the Harlem Globetrotters now?
That I did not know.
As a matter of fact, they're coming to town here in New York at the Barclays Center.
Wow.
They had. I saw the advertisement on TV a couple of times, and yeah, the players obviously are younger, and they have girls on the team now. You know, it's a good thing because I embrace that. I embrace that. You know why? Now they're talking about, I don't know if you watched the news lately, they're talking about keeping As a matter of fact, someone just signed one of the politicians, I can't remember who it was, signed a petition to not let have co-ed teams in high schools. You know,
Yeah, that's to me that's going a little bit too far because I mean, co-ed teams. I mean, when you gotta take a shower, you're gonna have a side for males, sides for females.
well,
I think
you know,
I,
I think what it is, it's nothing wrong with co-eds playing. When they go to their locker rooms, their respective locker rooms, it's the girls on one side, the boys on the other side, but they play on the field together. I don't see anything wrong with that.
yeah, I mean, I guess you're right, but it's listen, I'm for equality, but there's some things that I cannot accept. Um, me personally, I don't like men coaching women sports.
Yeah, I'm against that too because that
You know,
that doesn't turn out too.
that's just, you know, I just don't know.
Yeah,
I just don't know.
no, that doesn't turn out too well because a lot of times women they get these coaches, they get caught up with the women on the team.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, there was a story I read this week, and I think I have it on hand with me right now. Yeah, here it is. Here's a story that I found today, and I was hoping that you would do it, but since you didn't do it, I'm gonna, read it off to you. So it says a former women's basketball player at Nebraska has sued the university and a former coach after she said that they were grooming her for sexual relationships with one of them, and then was kicked off the team after their relationship was uncovered in a ruse at the team hotel. The former player, her name is Ashley Scoggin, said the former Nebraska coach, name was Chuck Love, groomed her for sex by asking her out for drinks and sending her messages on Snapchat and meeting her at Costco's in the parking lot.
Wow.
I obtained that, and I said I'm going to hold on to this one in case Brian didn't know about it, and I just took the liberty of doing that. I wasn't going to even do it this now. Since you mentioned that, since you got on that subject, I said, hey, this is a good time to put that out there.
I didn't hear about that story. I don't know why I missed that.
Yeah.
Sports is a revolving door. There's always something
Yeah.
that's coming, and it's just hard to keep up with it at times.
Yeah.
But it wasn't one of those breaking news stories.
Right. That was just a pass by story. One of those stories that doesn't make the front page or the top story or anything like that. But I figure I just bring that out. But I agree. I believe let the women coach the girls and the guys coach the guys.
Exactly. Yeah.
Let it that way. Now, if they want to play on co-ed teams, maybe they should have a women's and a men's team on the same team coaching. The girls coaching and the guys coaching. But
I agree.
When I was working, I don't know how important this would be to you, but when I was working at WOR in New York, we had a softball team, and the softball team contained of co-eds. The girls played and the girls and the guys played together. We played together.
Mm-hmm.
But this is not the big time. That wasn't the big time. That was just
that was just for fun,
Yeah, just for fun.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you something. Some of those girls, they played. I had a before each game, I had a throwing partner. Before each game, you have your throwing partner, and tied me to this girl, and this girl threw like a rock. That ball came and hit my mitt. I mean, it was like
your hand was stinging.
Yeah, but I didn't want to show it, and I said she's good, and that's and I was I was glad to have her as my partner after that, but yeah, these women play, they know how to play the sports, and then you have all of these great basketball, Brittany Griner, who's one of the greatest female basketball players. And now you have Caitlin Clark, who may be going to the WNBA.
I think she is, and there's a lot of controversy over that, where she's like really 2 years older than what she's supposed to be from being because of what happened with COVID. So they had to cancel the whole year and everything.
Yeah.
But she is supposed to be going to the WNBA and is going to be a very good player too, I might add.
Yeah, yeah. I don't see why they would give her another chance to play at her school because she's older now, Yeah, I would say move on, but she didn't make that decision yet. That decision is going to have to be on her, on what she wants to do, and
Right.
how the present team that she's on is going to actually let her stay or whatever, But I wish her luck. I wish her luck. But she's gonna have some stiff competition. She's gonna have some stiff competition. So we'll see. We'll see.
Yep.
So we'll see you back here tomorrow, yes?
Probably you will. I'm gonna have to call you. It last week too as well.
Okay. We'll see about it. Okay.
All right.
All right, we'll talk to you then. We'll see how it works out. We'll see how it pans out.
All right then.
Okay, have a great evening.
You too. Bye.
Yeah, that's Brian Kemp, ladies and gentlemen, with the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. Always glad to have him along with us, and it's always good to talk sports with him. And those are sensitive topics when you have sports people, the girls doing whatever sports it is. And the reason why I don't have a problem with co-ed sports, because it's just a game. It's a game, and women are out in the field, women are just as tough, just as strong, and just as athletic as the guys out there. And that's one of the reasons why I like to watch a co-ed game. You don't see it in the big leagues. And I always thought too, I said, okay, if in the big leagues, let's say in baseball, I'm just hoping that they start a big league baseball team for women. If they don't want to do co-ed, I like the guys in the big leagues, wherever they are, just for guys. I think that's tradition. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about it, but I would love to see a Major League Baseball team for women. I would love to see it. They have basketball for women right now. They have the pro basketball for women right now, WNBA. And, because sports are very exciting to me. I love sports, and I love to see, new things that happen to it, But when I saw that news article today, when the guy signed that statement saying that there shouldn't be any co-ed teams, and what they're afraid of? They're afraid of the gays and the lesbians, right? They play ball. They've involved themselves in sports. And I think that's what their problem. I think they're afraid of that. That's what they're afraid of. I really wish people would grow up and get to know people. See, that's the problem with us today. We don't get to know each other. You don't get to know. And if anyone says that they don't know anyone that's gay and lesbian, if anyone tells me that, then you're a liar. Then you're a liar. All right. Because, they work in corporations just like you do. They work in radio and TV, just, along with me. They work in sports. You could see that. They're sports announcers. They're entrepreneurs. They're here, and of course they deserve the same rights as everyone else, And so I wish, like, some of these politicians, especially the ones on the other side, these so-called conservative, that's what they call them, conservatives, right? I wish they would grow up and understand, because these conservatives that don't like gays and lesbians, well, behind closed doors, a lot of them, their sons and daughters are gays and lesbians, but they won't put that out there, So, they're not being truthful with you. They're saying, okay, well, we don't want this, we don't want that, But you got to look in your own backyard, see what you got. If you're just joining us, the name of the show is called Talk Back Live. My name is Frank Allan, and of course, as always, we're with you right throughout the show for a whole hour each week on this Thursday. And for those of you who are just joining us for the first time, feel free to come in. And again, if you're here for the first time, please, tag your friends if you're watching us on Facebook, right? We have a few minutes left on the show. So whatever is left of the show, you want them involved in it. So we would love to have them. Get them involved in it and just tag them. You can do that right away as we speak. Those of you who are watching us on YouTube, go to the YouTube channel, of course, and subscribe to it. This way, when you click that button where it says subscribe, it'll give you a chance to know when we come on live. You don't have to pay $1. You don't even have to pay a dime, nothing. Just pay attention, that's all. And that costs you nothing. And for you guys who are watching us on Instagram, don't worry about it. There's nothing to do. Just tell your family and friends, keep them abreast of what's happening each week. But I love talking about these topics. And you are, of course, welcome to talk about these things along with us. Or maybe you have something on your own you'd like us to address. Of course, we will definitely do that for you. And I think it's about that time, don't you think? I think. And you know what time it is? No, it's not howdy doody time. We're going to go back in time and talk about what's happening on this day in history. And what happened on this day in history in 1876, the first Woolworth's Great 5-cent store opened by Frank Winfield Woolworth in Utica, New York, and it failed almost immediately. On this day in history in 1909, the Great White Fleet, the first U.S. fleet to circle the globe, returns to Virginia. On this day in history in 1934, It Happened One Night, directed by Frank Capra and starring Clark Gable and Claudette Colbert. And it opened at the New York Radio City Hall, which is still standing today. On this day in history, 1935, The Little Colonel premieres, starring Shirley Temple, Lionel Barrymore, and the great tap dancer Bill Robinson, featuring that famous stair dance that they did with Bill Robinson and Shirley Temple. On this day in history, 1965, Rodgers and Hammerstein's television musical Cinderella, starring Leslie Ann Warren, Stuart Damon, and Pat Carroll, along with Celeste Holmes, that premiered on CBS TV back in 1968. The rock group Genesis released their first record, Silent Sun. In 1969, the Beatles began recording what becomes their Abbey Road album that was on EMI recording, and that studio and 3 Abbey Road in Westchester, or Westminster, London. That's in London, England. The studio was later renamed in honor of the achievements there. Back in 1989, the 31st Grammy Awards go to Bobby McFerrin, Don't Worry, Be Happy, George Michael's Faith, and Tracy Chapman. On this day in history in 1998, The King and I closed at the Neil Simon Theater in New York City after 781 performances. In 2005, the 19th Soap Opera Digest, the 19th Soap Opera Digest Awards go to General Hospital. In 2014, the 45th NAACP Image Awards, 12 Years a Slave wins Outstanding Motion Picture. In 2017, Jay-Z becomes the first rapper to be inducted into the Writers Hall of Fame alongside Max Martin, Jimmy Jam, and Terry Lewis. And the first president of the United States, one of the 4 founding fathers, or whatever they call them, George Washington, was born on this day in 1732. And he was born in Westmoreland, Virginia. He died December 14th in 1799 at the age of 67 years old. Going way back in time. On this day in history in 1907, actor Robert Young, who played on Father Knows Best and Marcus Welby, MD, was born in Chicago, Illinois on this day, and he died 1998. In the year 1907, actor, producer, and director Shelton Leonard, who had association with the Danny Thomas Show, was born in New York City, and he died in 1997. In 1908, actor John Mills, British actor, was born in North Elmham, Norfolk, England, and he died in the year 2005. In 1913, jazz saxophonist Buddy Tate was born in Sherman, Texas, and he died in 2001. On this day in history, in 1927, singer and actor Guy Mitchell was born in Detroit, Michigan, and he died in 1999. And former U.S. Senator Ted Kennedy was born on this day in 1932 in Boston, Massachusetts. He died August 25th in 2009 at the age of 77 years old from brain cancer. On this day in history, 1933, R&B singer Ernie Doe with his big hit Mother-in-Law. Remember Mother-in-Law? He was born in New Orleans, Louisiana, and he died in 2001. On this day in history, 1938, R&B singer Bobby Hendricks, who did his hit called Itchy Twitchy Feeling. He was also with a group called the Drifters, and he sounded just like Clyde McPhatter. Anyway, he was born in Columbus, Ohio, and he's having a happy birthday today. He's still alive and well. He's 86 years old today. Hey, here's something for the records. In 1963, Pebbles Flintstone, who already knows she's a fictional character. Anyway, she was born on this day in 1963. She's 61 years old today. Goo goo gaga, Pebbles. And you know something? When we're all gone, she's still going to be around. Actress, talk show host Drew Barrymore was born on this day in 1975 in Los Angeles, California. She's 49 years old today. On this day in history, in 1767, U.S. defector. General Benedict Arnold was the daughter of the sheriff of New Haven. Her name is Margaret Mansfield. Back in 1991, actor Bill Bixby married Laura Michael. 1997, Jennifer Lopez weds Ojani Noah, and they got divorced in 1998. They only were together 1 year. Also in 1998, singer-songwriter Tori Amos weds the sound engineer Mark Harley, and they got married in West Wycombe, England. In 2008, Baywatch actress Pamela Anderson divorces Rick Solomon, only 2 years after they got married. In 1976, Florence Ballard of the Supremes dies of a heart attack at the age of 32 years old. Artist Andy Warhol died on this day in history in 1987 at the age of 58 years old from a heart attack. He was born August 6, 1926 in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. In 1987, TV host David Susskind dies at the age of 66. 1994, blues violinist Papa John Creech dies of a heart failure at the age of 76 years old. And finally, 2016, country singer Sonny James, with his hit from the 50s, Young Love, dies at the age of 87 years old. That's this day in history. And of course, you know, you don't have to be finished with it. If you know what's happening on this day in history and I didn't mention it, well, feel free to type it in there and I will also get a chance to convey it to everyone else here. They'll see it there if they're online with you on Facebook or wherever you are. They'll see it right there. And of course, they'll know as well. And you can do that right away. Chimes in my head. Anyway, you're watching and listening, of course, I hope you are, Talk Back Live. And that's where we are. We're here each Thursday at this time. And of course, we bring you talk and information. And of course, we thank you so much for being along with us. Stay with us for the balance of the show. You might as well. The show is almost over. Now, those of you who want to take time and get in touch with me, I would love for you to do that, right? Now, I always ask you guys to chime in. Some people just want to sit back, relax the show, and just not say anything. They just want to, sit back. And I understand that. But as long as you're out there, that's the most important thing. And we invite you to do so as anytime you want. Always come back again and again. But if you'd like to get in touch with me personally, I have two sources you can do that. I have an email address and a telephone number. Now, I'm going to give you the email address first, right? Keep this in your wallet. Email address is Frank Allan Prod. Allan is spelled A-L-L-A-N. I have to say that. If I had a different last name that was only spelled only one way, then I wouldn't have to do this. But, Allan is spelled different ways. It's E-N, Y-N, So it's A-L-L-A-N. But most people, when they write me, they put Mr. Allan, A-L-L-E-N. It's A-L-L-A-N. And that's not an ego thing. I just want to make sure that you get the spelling right, because if you do otherwise, of course, it's going to bounce back to you and you're going to wonder why. Anyway, it's A-L-L-A-N. Prod is P-R-O-D. Frank Allen Prod at AOL.com. That's Frank Allen Prod at AOL.com. Prod's short for Productions. Telephone number is 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. That's 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. We always look forward to your correspondence, and you can do that anytime. We're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. We never sleep. The crew never sleeps. I got to get my rest. Anyway, if you'd like to get in touch with me, and maybe there's a purpose of it, maybe you want to critique the show, which is good, because we always look forward to that. And the reason why we do is because we want to learn more. We always learn something new when we do this show each week. What you like, what you don't like, we always look forward to that. Or maybe you have an idea that you like us to implement in the show. We would love to hear from you too. Now, we can't promise everything, but I can promise you one thing: we're going to listen to you and see what you have going, and get inside your mind, and we'll see what we can do about it. Or maybe you want to just say hi. That's okay too. Maybe you have a bar mitzvah coming up and you want to announce that. And I can announce that for you too, right? I can do anything. It's my show. And I do what I can't do everything I want to do, but you get the idea. Anyway, so whatever you want to do to correspond with us, please do that, but keep all of that information with you. Keep it in your telephones. And if you refuse to get a telephone, keep it in your Rolodex if you have one of those left over. I don't even think they make those things anymore. I don't know. But nevertheless, make sure you keep the information. I'll repeat it once more. Email address first is frankallenprod at AOL.com. That's frankallenprod at AOL.com. The telephone number is 641-715-3900. Again, that's 641-715-3900, extension, I didn't give the extension 467-134. That's 467-134. And we used to say back in the old days of radio and TV, and you'll be glad you did. I used to love old radio and TV, especially TV, when they used to do things differently the way they do it now. Especially the way they used to structure TV commercials. Remember, they used to say, if they produce a product or if they promote a product, let's say, for instance, let me pull out a product out of the hat, Pepsodent toothpaste. A lot of you are looking and saying, what's Pepsodent toothpaste? Now, the only people who would know about anything about Pepsodent toothpaste, which, by the way, is still on the market, it's just not as big as it was back then. The only people that would know anything about Pepsodent toothpaste are some people are the baby boomers. People of my age, maybe a little bit older, maybe slightly younger, they may know about Pepsodent toothpaste. And if you know anything about that, then they used to say, get some today. They used to always end off, get some toothpaste, get your toothpaste today, or get Campbell's soup, get it today. Or sometimes they would say, get it tomorrow. It could be bright and early in the morning. They'll say, get it tomorrow. That's the way TV goes. Hey, Mary, you're leaving me. Have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow, hopefully, on the coffee hour. I hope you'll be back here with me. She looked like she's leaving anyway. She's saying to me, have a good night. Okay. And Mary, if you're leaving me, thanks for being here as long as you have. Show is almost over, ladies and gentlemen. For the rest of you, I hope you stay around. Because we only have a few minutes left. As a matter of fact, I want you to stay around long enough. You know why? Because I do have those movies I wanted to tell you about, those Turner Classic movies. Now, Mary, if you want to stick around for that, that would be great. But I do have movies for you this week that you could watch. And I have, let me see, how many do I have today? I have 3, 4, 5, 6. I gotta get started with this right now. So you see what we got. These are the movies that are my selection for Turner Classic Movies, movies that I supply to you. So maybe you could have something to do for the weekend if you don't want to do the regular thing that whatever you do. If you want to catch up on some old movies, I have a few to add to your bucket list. So here we go. Let's get started with that right now. Strangers on a Train, back in 1951 with Robert Walker. That's on Turner Classic Movies. That's Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern. And that's on Turner Classic Movies, so you can check that out. Also, we have The Defiant Ones. I love this movie, 1958. Tony Curtis and Sidney Poitier. Remember that? And that's on Turner Classic Movies. That's also on Friday. You can check that out at 9:45 p.m. Eastern. Then you have Born Yesterday. This is kind of a comedy drama in 1950. That goes back to 1950, starring Judy Holliday, William Holden, and Broderick Crawford. And that's on Turner Classic Movies. You can check that out. That's Saturday at 3:30 p.m. Eastern. Here's something from 1945, Mildred Pierce, Joan Crawford, Jack Carson, and Ann Blythe. And that's on Turner Classic Movies. You can check that out. That's Sunday at 12:45 a.m. So that's like midnight. That's Saturday night, Sunday morning at midnight. If you can't stay up that late, or it's a little too late for you, want to go to bed or whatever it is, DVR it before you go to bed, and you can check it out the following day at your earliest convenience. I'll Cry Tomorrow, a great movie from 1955 starring Susan Hayward, Richard Conte, and Eddie Albert. I'm not going to give you the whole theme of the movies, but this is a movie that Suzanne Hayward played an alcoholic. That's all I'm going to tell you about it, but it's a good movie. You'll like it. That's on Sunday at 8:30 a.m. Eastern. Again, if you're going to church, DVR and check it out when you get back. And finally, here's something nice called A Streetcar Named Desire from 1951, starring Marlon Brando, Vivian Lee, and Kim Hunter. And that's on Turner Classic Movies. Stella! This is Turner Classic Movie. That's Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. That's a reasonable time for you guys who live in. All of these things that I'm giving you are Eastern time, so you act accordingly. So that's A Streetcar Named Desire. Now, you can go on Turner Classic Movies at any time, even when this show is over. Go to Turner Classic Movies and go through the program guide, and you may find movies that I didn't list, but that's why I send you there, because I want you to get a hold of these movies so you can watch them. Movies that I didn't mention, but you can, DVR them as well. If you don't watch them in real time, you can do that. They're great movies. So that's why I always send you there. Also, while you're on demand, you see all of those great free movies that are out there, right? These are for cable watchers. You have free movies, and from A to Z, a chock full of those great movies that I think you'll love. They're classics. And of course, you got to make sure that when you watch them, make sure you get to see them before they take them off, because they recycle some of these movies and make way for more movies. And of course, on demand, you have pay-per-view movies, right? You could watch some of the movies that are already in theater. You have to pay a little more for that, but they're there. If you don't desire to go to the movie of your choice in your neighborhood and with the crowd and everything, you want to watch it in your own home, that would be great too. You could do that. Also, they have the pay-per-view movies, the movies that were once in the theaters not too long ago, and they're still lingering, and you can watch them there as well. Also, you have a lot of great children's programs, your sporting events and all kinds of great things. You like Lifetime movies, all right? See what they have available on there, on their website over there. And, all of those things. So if you miss a sporting event, you could always check it out another time. Let's say, for instance, it comes on, you have a sporting event that happened today, tomorrow. You can check it out on demand, whatever you miss. It's right there. That's a good thing about technology today. They'll give you the privilege of watching some of these shows that you miss, or some of these sporting events that you miss. So let me go over these movies again. There are a lot of them. There's 6 movies, so I'll go over them. And the first one, Stranger on the Train with Robert Walker. That's Turner Classic Movies. That's on Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern. The Defiant One, Tony Curtis and Sidney Poitier. That's Turner Classic Movies, Friday at 9:45 p.m. The third one is Born Yesterday with Judy Holliday, William Holden, and Roger Crawford. That's Saturday on Turner Classic Movies at 3:30 p.m. Mildred Pierce with Joan Crawford, Jack Carson, and Ann Blythe. Turner Classic Movies Sunday at 12:45 a.m. I'll Cry Tomorrow, Susan Haywood, Richard Conte, and Eddie Albert. Turner Classic Movies Sunday at 8:30 a.m. Eastern. And Streetcar Named Desire. That's on Turner Classic Movies. Marlon Brando, Vivian Lee, and Kim Hunter. Turner Classic Movies Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. I hope you get a chance to watch these shows. They're all right there. I've got to go, but I will be back here tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern for the coffee hour. Hopefully, Brian Camp will be with me with the latest developments in today's world of sports. If not, we'll cover for him anyway. But we look forward to seeing you here. I hope you can join us then. And with coffee in hand, of course, that's tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern. And that's the coffee hour. And also making a point to meet me here every Thursday. Be back here next Thursday. And that will be the 29th. That's the last day of February. We'll still be in Black History Month. And Brian Camp will be with me with sports, and I hope you will too. In the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, have yourself a great night. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
You've been watching Talk Back Live with your host, Frank Allen. The producer is Al Dale. Technical assistant, Dave Taylor. Research by Sandy Pierce. And I'm your announcer, Donna Stenke. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Talk Back Live.